Hello everybody, I said I'd be back soon with my second video, and here it is. So my first video was just an introduction briefly about me and my kids and who I am, and this one is more about who my kids are, so we can really get more in depth and you can understand more of their personalities, so that as these videos go along and we talk about different things, you'll have a better idea of what makes each one tick. So again, I have 3 children, hence the title. And their ages are 9, 6, and 11 months. And my oldest name is Julian. I wrote down some qualities that came to mind about all of them, so I'm going to refer to my notes a little bit, forgive me. And also, by the way, you see the background is we're in Hilton Head at a resort on a vacation right before school starts, so you might see a golf cart pass by me now and then, but it's really nice out here. So anyway, my oldest, Julian, I'll tell you a little bit about him, more about him. He is extroverted, he's analytical, very analytical, he's brilliant, if I do say so myself. And by the way, I'm probably partial, but you know, who's not his mother's, right? Very energetic, playful, highly sensitive, which is a double-edged sword, really. He's a thinker, he's witty, dramatic. I see him going into arts and being an actor, maybe. He's a quick thinker, he's a picky eater, he's very talkative, he's extremely charming. He can make anybody smile anytime just through just who he is as a person, doesn't even have to be making a joke. He's also logical, he's serious, and he's generous with who he is and what he has. See, there's a golf cart going by. Anyway, and then when I sum up him, when I just think about him as a whole, the first word, the biggest word that comes to mind is capable. That may sound like a boring word, but capable means he can do anything he puts his mind to. He's literally that good at almost everything. It's very impressive. And so sometimes I forget how much he still needs me. He's still a child. He's not even a preteen yet. He still needs me for a lot of stuff. But he's so capable that I forget that, you know, I still need to be really involved with him like I am with my youngest two. So with that being so capable, on the other side of that is if there's something that he's not naturally good at, there isn't much, but if there's something he's not naturally good at, he doesn't even want to try. An example is bike riding. Okay, so he's going on 10. Most 9, 10-year-olds know how to ride a bike without training wheels, right? He hasn't learned. It's not for lack of trying. It's because he's afraid. He's afraid of falling, afraid of failing. And what we do with our kids, if there's anything they're afraid of, we support them to really address their fear, conquer it. What are you really afraid of happening, and what can we do about it together so we can work through it? Because if he was just ambivalent about something, I just really don't want to do it, I don't care, we're not going to necessarily challenge him. But if it's something he feels he wants to do or should do, but he's scared, we are always going to challenge him. And most importantly, we're going to live our lives modeling anything we're afraid of, pushing through it. Because as adults, we're still afraid of things too, and he needs to know that's okay. That's just a part of who we are. But that's how we handle and our relationship with fear that makes a difference. Okay, so he's capable, but he has a little confidence issues on things he's not naturally good at. Positive side about that is, again, it's so little, it's such a few number that we can work with that. And my middle child is Gabriel. The sun just came out. My middle child is Gabriel. And he is 6 and he will be 7 tomorrow. So his birthday is July 30th. He is, I'd say we have some things in common. He's certainly more like me than Julian, and Julian is a lot like his daddy because his daddy's very capable too. Anyway, Gabriel is a lot like me, and here's some bullet points qualities about him. He's clever, he's creative, he's very artistic. He's gifted, he's observant, he notices everything and everybody, even if he doesn't seem to be. He'll tell you 2 hours later exactly what you said. A little unnerving. He is an introvert, whereas brother is an extrovert. So he doesn't make friends quite as easily, but the ones he makes are very deep. So again, that's another way he's like me. He's funny, he's a practical joker. Where his brother is more witty with his words, Gabriel is more funny with his actions. He's more of like a slapstick comedian. He's fiery. He's a feeler as opposed to a thinker. He's dynamic. He loves his freedom. I remember he never liked to be strapped into a seatbelt or a car seat. He always hated that, and he never wants to be confined anywhere. He just loves to run around and be free. He's a risk taker, and he's kind of elegant. The way that he speaks and his movements, I consider him elegant, and he's very thoughtful. So the biggest word that comes to mind when I think of Gabriel is enigmatic. And what that really means is it's kind of mysterious. It's hard to really pin down who he is. I have all these qualities, but it was much harder to think about what makes Gabriel tick as opposed to Julian. And some people see enigmatic as puzzling or strange, but it just means they march to the beat of their own drum, like many of us do. They kind of hear their own rhythm in their head. So what we do as parents is just help him to see that that's beautiful. Just as beautiful as fitting in is standing out. You know, you can do both. And he's different, but that's wonderful. And that makes him unique. Whereas his brother is a leader in the way that he fits in, and he can lead a crowd because people understand him and see a lot of commonalities. With Gabriel, they may not see a lot of commonalities, but his eccentricity, his mysteriousness, all that stuff makes him who he is and makes him intriguing. These are all my opinions, but so yeah, I see him as enigmatic is the first word that comes to mind for Gabriel, and then for Julian, it is capable. Completely different things, but to me, both leads to amazing possibilities for both of them. Now, you might hear a little buzzing in the background. Forgive that. That is, they're cutting down trees over here in Hilton Head, but it's still beautiful out here. It's picturesque, and it's probably 80, so it feels great. Now, let's move on to my youngin', Sasha. Now, she is 11 months, and I should say she's a doorstep away from 12. She'll be a year old in about 2 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks. And okay, so her personality is still being formed. We are still learning who she is, and we're not going to really know a lot more about her for probably another 3 or 4 years. When she's 4, you get a lot of the core traits of what makes up their personality. So it's going to be a minute till we see more about her, but I can already tell, just based on who she is now and having 2 other babies and comparing them to her, she is going to be talkative. She's not saying much yet, just mama and daddy and bye-bye, and that's pretty much the extent of her vocabulary. But she babbles a lot, and she's already been trying to make sounds since she was just a couple of months. She was always leaning towards that. She's very engaged with people. She's outgoing. She's certainly a people person. She likes to be around people. She'll let almost anybody hold her. Another words that come to mind: she's lively, she's fun, she's warm, she's sympathetic, she's very affectionate. She loves to be held and hold, and like a little baby doll. The biggest word that comes to mind for her right now is she is extraordinarily easygoing. It's interesting. One of my good friends said when I was still pregnant with her, and I had the 2 boys, and she knows my sons well, and she's like, your daughter is, I feel like she's going to be the calm in a chaotic household. Because I'll be honest, we have 2 boys, high energy. My husband's high energy. I'm kind of I keep everybody in a similar temperament, but she's going to really, my friend kind of prophesized this, that she's going to kind of calm everybody down and ground everybody. And that's the truth. That's what happened. She is so even-tempered. Nothing phases her. She doesn't let really anything upset her. The only time you hear her whine is if she's overly tired, overly hungry. And if we're on schedule, that's not going to really happen. But I am just blessed with how easygoing she is. Not at all a cranky baby. And even as a newborn, she didn't cry much. She's always smiling, always happy. And I do think her personality is going to stay that way, barring any kind of catastrophe that's going to mess with her emotional system and trauma. If we can keep her away from trauma as much as we can only control so much, so right. So yeah, that's her. And so my biggest capable, my second enigmatic, my third easygoing. And so, and I want to do another video about this, but with their different personalities, because none of them are really at all alike. With the different personalities, we parent differently, we discipline differently, we interact with them differently, because it's important to shift how your interpersonal relationships with your little ones so that they can hear you. Everybody has a different love language. I'll do another video on that. Everybody has a different way of reaching and making them tick, and how they really hear you. Some people hear you based on you being responsible and capable, and they kind of measure you and then say, okay, well, these things add up, so now I can trust them. Someone can hear you and connect with you based on you being supporting and caring. Someone else can connect with you based on you being able to take charge or inspire. So we all connect with each other in different ways, and so I find what makes them tick and how I can connect with them so that we can have a dialogue and we can really have an open trust and connection with us where they can come to me for anything, because I'm laying the groundwork now so when they're teenagers that we have that open relationship that I had with my mom. Not necessarily my dad. I had that with him later in life, but I always had that with my mom. God rest her soul. She died in December. But I want them to be teenagers to be able to come to me about anything and everything. In order for that to happen, we have to lay that groundwork now. We can't start it when they're preteens and then try to develop a relationship. Then we get to develop that now. And so you have to think about what really makes them tick. How can I connect with them individually based on who they are? I know for Julian, he's kind of inspirer. He likes to take charge. So how I would connect with him is I show him that I take charge and I give him responsibility. I let him do things and lead. And I also am kind of its cheerleader. With Gabriel, again, he is such a mystery, but I know he connects with someone who can play with him and someone who really understands him and takes time to listen to him because he has a lot to say. So someone who takes time with him but also plays with him is very important. Sasha, I just think you have to be easygoing and talk to her. But she's yet to be seen. Anyway, I again would love likes and subscriptions and comments and questions. I really appreciate all the support. I've already gotten a lot of support in terms of subscriptions and likes and comments, and so please keep them coming. And any topic videos you might suggest. I'll be out with a new one soon. I don't know if it's going to be birth order, love languages, or getting more in depth about they have some attention deficit things, talking about that. Let me know in the comments what you might want me to talk on next. You all take care, and I'll talk to you soon.